Now, because my passport and all my paperwork is currently in with the government for a renewal of my residence permit, I can't travel anywhere. And you can't go anywhere, you can't buy a ticket for an airplane or a train or even a bus without your passport. You also cannot check into any hotels. And you'll find that happens a lot when you come here. Your employer is going to want your passport, the government's going to want it. They're going to want it for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes even a month in order to do these little processes. You have to prepare for it. So what that means for me is I'm stuck in Chalan. I can't leave, at least until, well, for another 10 days, they tell me. So for the next 10 days, I'm going to be around here. I do want to do a video about Chinese visas. I'll do that in a couple weeks when I actually get my passport back so I can show you all the paperwork involved and what exactly you need to do to get one, to convert it to a worker's permit, or excuse me, a residence permit. The most common question that I've been getting is, can you get a job in China without a college degree? And the answer is yes. However, officially, no. Now let's not beat around the bush about this fact. If you come here without a college degree, on a tourist visa or even a business visa, without a Z visa, that's the work visa, you will be working illegally. Now, does it happen? Absolutely, it happens a lot. And the government does check. Oftentimes these businesses will be raided by the police and they're looking for the correct paperwork. If you don't have the correct paperwork, when the police come around, you're going to get deported and you probably won't be allowed back. So you think about it in your country. If somebody came to your country and worked illegally and took your job, think of how you would feel. Not only that, but it's also, let's face it, you are a guest in China. You're a guest in any country you go to. And the first thing you do is you break the law. It's a slap in the face to the country that you are visiting, to the people that live there, and to the people who are not breaking the law. So yes, I have a problem with people who come here and work illegally because I think they're getting away with something that they shouldn't be. It actually lowers our salaries because people often work cheaper, and it's a supply and demand thing. If there's more workers, then it's less pay. So keep that in mind, what you're doing to the people who actually work here legally. Now, that doesn't even take into account that you have no rights. If you're here as a tourist on a tourist visa and you take a job, you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna get paid in cash, if you get paid at all. So let's say that you work for a whole month for somebody and he decides, hey, I'm not gonna pay you. There's nothing you can do about that. And that happens a lot. So keep that in mind, you know, that it's not like you can run to the government and say, hey, I worked all this time and you didn't pay me. You're not gonna do that. Everything is under the table and cash only. You're out of the system. Now there's an awful lot of YouTube videos out there that I've seen that say, yeah, you can come here and work illegally, it's fine, everybody does it. And yes, you can. However, don't do it. Don't be that person. Don't be that guy or girl that skirts the rules and comes here and works under the table. I think you're better than that. Not to mention, look, if you're coming from your home country, let's just take, for example, an American coming from America, just because I'm American. And you come to this country and the first thing you do is you break the law. What does that say about Americans here? Americans already have kind of a reputation, North Americans in general have a reputation here. I don't want to get into detail about it, but a lot of them think we're too sexually promiscuous and that we're lazy and entitled and that we are a little bit arrogant. And yeah, that's actually kind of true. I meet a lot of Americans and they're exactly that. Don't forget, when you come here, you're representing your people, your country, to China, to the people of China. So be an upstanding citizen of your country as a guest and a visitor here in China. You not only owe it to your home country and to your own culture, but you owe it to China, the people here. Now, there are other ways to come here. You can come here on a tourist visa and look for work. In fact, that's a great idea. Come here, tour the country, go to the different cities, the different interview with companies, and pick one that you like and you're comfortable with. That's a wonderful idea. I actually recommend that. But don't start working for them until you go through the process of getting a Z visa. Now you have to do that from your home country. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to go back home and process the Z visa. I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I will talk about it soon because it is a process and it changes often. What you should never do is rely on somebody else's stories, including my own, or a recruiter that's going to recruit you to work here, or the companies that are going to hire you in the first place. There were many, many times when I was interviewing to come here that they said, yeah, come on over on a tourist visa. We have guanxi, we have relations, so no one's going to bother you. And if they do, you can do a tourist run to, or excuse me, a visa run to Hong Kong and get your proper visa there. Don't fall for that scam. Don't do that. A lot of people get stuck and in trouble when they do things like that. So keep it on the level, keep it 100% legal. Don't look for ways to skirt the rules, follow the rules. And you say, Paul, I don't have a college degree. Then get one. You're not allowed to come here and work without one. It's unfortunate, but those are the rules. People also tell me, Paul, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to go through the hassle and the paperwork and the interviews and the back and forth and dealing with my home government and getting the FBI stuff. We'll get into that. Yeah, it's work, but you're not coming here to sing Kumbaya to a bunch of children. You're coming here to work. So if you struggle with the process of coming here and all the work involved with it, then you're going to struggle with the job here. Then make no mistakes, it's work. You have to work while you're here. You're not here sightseeing all the whole time. Now that may sound a bit harsh, but it is reality, and sometimes reality can be harsh. However, if you put the work in, you follow the steps, you become the expert about what you need to sustain yourself here legally, I guarantee you it'll be worth it. It's an amazing experience. China is an amazing country. All countries that are different, that are exotic, open your eyes and broaden your horizons, unlike anything you can find back home. I can't recommend it enough. Just a day after I recorded that video, as you just saw, I got this in my email, and this is in the news today. 229 China foreign teachers arrested in latest PSB Twitter trap. So basically, the PSB is the legal entity that goes around and checks for illegal workers at all the places. And this is for English teachers, which is the most common job foreigners have here. And basically it said there were these Twitter accounts that were recruiters in China that were promising, yeah, you come on over to China without a Z visa, without a college degree, and you can make $50,000 a year. And they were actually getting placements in schools. Well, it turns out there were a ton of these, and they all got arrested, and they were all fined, but they didn't have to pay the fine if they gave up the names of all the teachers that were in their phone book, all the resumes they had on their computers. So what is the penalty? Well, according to this, the penalty is 30 days in prison. That's Chinese prison. $2,000 to $5,000 fine and a 3 to 5 year banishment from the country. So is that something that you wanna try? This is potentially thousands of people who came here thinking, yeah, this recruiter said I can do it, and they came here skirting the law, and they're getting arrested. So just today, 229. Now I also know, found out from a friend of mine downtown, another company, they raided that company today, and 2 Americans were just arrested, and they're going to go to prison for 30 days, and they'll probably be kicked out of the country and not allowed back after that. I don't know who these Americans are, but I'm told that I have met them in the past. So I don't know their names. But yeah, it does happen. So be careful.